G'day guys, Christian here from TechBuilt. Today I'm going to talk about lasers. Now there's all different types, there's all different brands, but I'm going to touch on a couple of the products that Bosch offer and the different applications in which they can be used. Now there's laser distance measurers. We'll be talking about the 50 metre, the 100 metre. Now there's line lasers in both red and green. This is the new green line laser, both vertical and horizontal, on the Bluetooth remote control base. So there's a lot of features on this one that I'm excited to talk about. And the 8-line red laser, more suited to jobs set out. It's their flagship model. It's got a great bunch of features as well. And then of course their rotating laser level, so that has its own features that go with that too. So basically I'm going to do a series of videos and I'm going to touch on different applications and features of each of these products, talk about the price and what trade specific they're used for. They all have their own pros and cons. They all have their own specific application which they're designed for. Some can be used as a kind of all-in-one, probably more so this one, but obviously has its pros and cons as well in terms of price or things like that. So I'm going to go through a complete breakdown of each and compare them not only in the Bosch catalogue and what they offer, but also touch on a couple other manufacturers and what their offerings are and the pros and cons which come with that as well. So stay tuned. I'm going to break it all down for you and I hope you enjoy. Now in this video I'm going to discuss the laser distance measures. I'm going to go through the GLM 500 and the GLM 100c. So I'm going to compare the two together, run you through the features and the different applications in which these are going to be used for, and let you know what I think. Alright, so here we have the two laser distance measures from Bosch. We've got the new GLM 500, which is a 50 metre distance measurer, and we have the GLM 100c, which is a 100 metre distance measurer. C being connected, it has Bluetooth connectivity to the Bosch Toolbox app. So I'll run through exactly what the benefits of that are a little later, but for now I basically just want to compare the two. As you can see, the new one is slightly smaller, similar thickness, and they weigh roughly about the same. This one has an internal battery which you charge off a micro USB, and this one runs two AAA batteries. They also both have a 1/4 inch thread, so they can be mounted to a tripod. So what I'll do is I'll go through the new one and fire it up. As you can see, really quick startup, nice bright coloured screen, and you can see here as I'm tilting it, it's giving you a degree readout, and that also works when it's side on as well. The orientation of the screen changes, and also the angle changes as well. Now, super easy to use. You hit the function button and then you can cycle through all your functions. So what we'll start off with is your standard point and shoot function, and so that's basically hit it twice and that'll give you your readout. You've also got a live distance function as well, so when you've got the laser where you want it, you hit it once and that'll give you a readout. Hit it again and that'll lock out at whatever dimension you're after. It also has area, same principle. You get one side, get the other side, times them together and gives you your square metre readout. Perfect for trying to measure floors or decking. And what you can also do is with these plus and minus buttons you can add the dimensions together. So say you've just got one room, you go into another room, so you hit the plus button, shoot, plus again, and that'll give you your total square metres of those two rooms. And the same works with the volume as well as the straight distance too. So if you're working out how much skirting you need, you go through, you can add all of them up together to get yourself a linear metre rate. And the same principle applies with the volume. Go through and give yourself all your dimensions. Oh, did that one too many times. And then you can also add them on as well. So if you're doing a footings or trying to work out concrete of separate parts of the job, you can add them all together and that can give you a total readout. It also has a trigonometry function, so depending on whether you want an opposite, hypotenuse or adjacent side of a triangle, you click which side you want, and as you're tilting it, the degrees are moving again. You can see what side of the triangle it's giving you. You get your distance by that degree, and that'll give you that side. So it takes all the math out of it. So no need to worry about running around trying to work out your sine, cos or tan. This will do it all for you. So it's super easy to use and takes away a complete step of math that is no longer required on site. And also with the level function. So this is just the dedicated level function. You sit it on its back, line the dot up where you want it to be, and obviously it will beat when it's level. And then also on its side, it'll give you a rake, and then also on a plumb cut as well. Now this is perfect if you're on a roof and you're trying to work out a bird's mouth, for example. Because these things are so small and compact, you can have them in your nail bag or in your pocket. You can pull it out and put it on the underside of a rafter, work out the pitch of the roof, and then from that point you can then work out whatever cuts or calculations you need, which is super handy to have. Now what I'll do is I'll go through this one. Like I said, this is this one I've had for about 3 years, and the buttons are quite well worn. I use this pretty much every day. Now this has all the similar functions to the previous one, just with a couple of extras. So when we hit the function and we go into our live distance, as you scroll through, it's giving you a live maximum and minimum readout. So when you lock it off, you can determine how far you went, and then exactly where you want it as well. And it's also shooting it out of degrees as well, which is really handy. This will also do its straight shoot normal function. It'll do its square meterage, and also do its volume as well as being able to be put into an additional level. This will click into it, so it will take this edge and expand it up to either 600 or 1200. So when you're trying to find out an angle, it's going to give you a more precise dimension. This one will also have its plus and minus functions. This has an equals, so you don't have to keep adding on. You can just hit the equals button to give you whatever dimension you're after. And it also has a 50 calculation recall, so you can go back through and you can see the last 50 measurements that you've had, which is super handy. So if you're on a job and you are measuring up skirting or baseboard, or you're trying to find out how much square meterage the floor plan is, you can add up each room, tally them up, and then when you go back to your saw, you have a cutting list, and you can cycle through and see what measurements you've taken. Now with the Bluetooth function, this syncs up with the Bosch Toolbox app. So with that app, you can upload photos of the job, you can also upload plans, and then when you sync it with your mobile device, you can go around the site and you can do a check measure of individual rooms or individual dimensions and cross-reference those with the plans that you've uploaded onto the app. And you can actually draw in your dimensions on the app as well that you've got from this device, which is super handy. So it's great for a builder or a draftsman or architect. If you're trying to do a initial quote for a renovation and you want to find out what dimensions the plan are, or the house is compared to the plans, this is a great device to have. So these are both very similar in terms of the functions they have. Obviously this has a slightly more advanced features. This will do 0.1mm accuracy, where this is 1mm accuracy. This also has the Bluetooth connectivity, but apart from that, they're pretty straightforward. This is their new one, like I said, and it's reasonably priced as well. This was their flagship model, but it's now been replaced with a larger unit with slightly more functions, but they still offer this this model as well, but usually it'll be paired up with an additional level that they can click into it as well. So depending on what you're after and what functions and prices you're after, they offer a distance measure that's perfect for what you need.